Hello, everyone, and welcome to Angel Healing House, and welcome to Walk In Angel Ariel's Weekly Wisdom for this upcoming week of March 4th through March 11th, 2023. My name is Claire Candy Hoff, and my name is also Angel Ariel, as I had an angelic walk-in experience on January 11th of 2023, which I write about in my award-winning #1 Amazon International best-selling book, I Am an Angelic Walk-in, the autobiography of Angel Ariel. This book is the sequel to my other #1 Amazon International bestseller, which is One True Home, Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness. I'd like to welcome back my loyal subscribers, my followers. It's lovely to be in your energies once more. And for those people who are new to the Claire Candy Hoff YouTube channel, let me share a little bit about myself through my full-time business, Angel Healing House, which I created 20 years ago in 2003. I'm a Reiki master teacher, having taught hundreds and hundreds of Reiki practitioners and master teachers around the world. I'm also an intuitive, psychic, clairvoyant, tarot card reader. I do past life clearings and ancestral healings. I also do those wonderful Reiki energy healings, which are re-energizing, recharging, and transformative to bring the body back to peace and wholeness and tranquility and serenity, so the body can naturally remember how to heal itself. If you would like to book any of my services, please do phone me at Angel Healing House, which is 831-277-3716. And do remember that's Pacific Standard Time, as we are in Santa Monica, California. Or you can always go to my website, which is angelhealinghouse.com. Here on Walk In Angel Ariel's Weekly Wisdom, we do look at the runes, tarot cards, oracle cards, but before we consult those, we always look into the astrological heavens to see what energies, planetary, astrologically, are affecting us. Now, the strongest astrological energy is coming from the current Pisces season, which started on February 18th. Pisces season, or Pisces is the last sign of the zodiacal wheel, is always a time of rest and introspection. You know, why Pisces season is a time of rest? Because we've been through all of those lessons of the other signs. And now we get to rest before we start a new zodiacal cycle with Aries, which is all about action, fiery determination. So Pisces season does give us a time to rest and recoup before going into that new cycle. It's a time when we're meant to go inwards, to surrender, release, flow, and embrace the need for some extra sleep and extra solitude, as once again we prepare for those big changes ahead with Aries season. Now, if you're wondering when Aries season starts, the sun goes into the next sign, Aries, on March 20th. Now, during this time of introspection, we could experience time just going so slow, or a frustratingly inability to manifest. Or we could just be feeling like we need time out. This need for time out could see many of us feeling more detached, less interested in things that we had been strongly interested in before. And if you've been feeling particularly drained, a little lifeless, take it as a great sign that you're in alignment and you're exactly where you need to be. Know that this is divinely orchestrated, and what will help greatly is if we do trust the process and we don't try to force or push anything. You know, I was recently speaking with a client, and she asked one of the most asked questions by my clients over the past 20 years here at Angel Healing House. And her question was, how, with all that is going on in the world, can she best live through these extraordinary times? Well, my angelic family, who I am part of as Angel Ariel, we are known as the Posse of Angels. We didn't miss a beat, and we'd had no hesitation in saying these are no more and they are no less extraordinary times of reset on planet Earth, as the collective is once again elevating its consciousness, bringing more light to what was a very dark planet. But this time, the light has won, or we would not be seeing so many dark agendas being revealed and coming to light. We went on to share that the best way to live through these extraordinary times, which just may be surprising for many, is, and it's not about fighting for justice to those tyrannically forced harmful experimentations on us, or to try to change anyone else. But the best way to live through these times is to take care of ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Now, those who do these things on a regular basis create a life, a reality in which they show the universe that they are deserving of health and emotional well-being in all areas of their lives, demonstrating that they are of such value that they are worth investing in. Investment in ourselves isn't selfish. It's providing a reflective template for the universe to energetically draw others who wish to then invest in us. As always, we must first be the change within ourselves that we wish to see in our outside realities. Now, in a world that is more and more technologically driven, whether it's almost impossible to get any personal service in stores or to actually speak to a representative from a company without pushing endless buttons on the phone, machines seem to be of greater and greater importance over humans. This was purposely done by a very dark agenda to diminish light on our planet, for one of the highest forms of vibrational frequency is the energy of connectedness between human beings. Now, this is why the tyrannical, unconstitutional edicts were put in place to separate people from their loved ones during lockdowns. Through extraordinary times on our planet, people have rediscovered their faith and strength within by leaning on and supporting one another through trauma, grief, despair, and difficult times of all kinds, to once again find their hope to go on to rebuild their lives. With this theme of investment, I drew two very glaring examples of A, not investing in others, and B, investing in others. So, in the first example, I received an email from an online magazine, which shall remain nameless, and in the subject line it stated the magazine's name and that they were referred to me by a very dear friend. The letter read, "Hi Claire, I'm on the editorial staff of," and the magazine's name. "I'm working on interviews with inspiring entrepreneurs and creatives. Your friend has recommended that we reach out to you for an interview. We'd love to learn your story. If you have time for an interview in the next weeks, the interviews are done remotely and don't require you to leave your home. Thanks. Like with everything that I'm offered, I do my research by first looking at the signature, and I was really surprised to see that there was no phone number. I then went on their website. I still couldn't see any phone number, but they spoke about how much they were excited to play a role in getting out to the world insights from inspirational entrepreneurs and creators like myself. They spoke about how our story really matters, and that there is so much that we can learn from one another, and that they were here to provide support to those entrepreneurs. Looking at the sample of stories that were featured in previous magazines, it struck me as odd that each question posed by the interviewer was generic. It could have been asked of anyone on the planet, and it was not specific to any particular individual. As always, my intuition is my best barometer as to whether to step forward with something or not, and it was speaking so loudly to me and so clear that something didn't seem to be right. I called up the friend who referred me, and when I asked her about them not having a phone number, she said that the interview was actually a misnomer, as there is no interview over a Skype, Zoom, or any other platform. Once an entrepreneur emails them back that they are interested in being interviewed, the magazine then sends you a form with a list of these generic, non-specific questions for the magazine, and then sends you a form. They are interested in being interviewed. They send you these non-specific questions for the person to answer themselves, and after each question, the person who is interviewing themselves then inserts pictures or graphics pertain to their answered questions, and then voila, what happens? You've been interviewed. When I asked this friend what her experience was, she owned up that although she did it, she did not share it with anyone, her family or friends or social media, as she felt embarrassed. She felt compromised, like she had sold out. She then asked me if I would be doing it. I shared with her that there would be nothing wrong with doing this, no money was being exchanged, but that I would rather not interview myself by responding to generic, cookie-cutter questions and designing content for my article so that their magazine could sell advertising. Now, this template that this company has created is so divorced and is so devoid from any human investiture, and demonstrated just how much they valued each individual's story and how much it really did matter to them, which accounted for hardly any investment other than the time it took to send out generic emails and cookie-cutter questions. And the reason that I didn't do it is because I don't compromise, and I don't show the universe that I will settle for anything less than investing my time, my effort, and consideration, and really valuing another person. Now, the second example of investing in other people came in following the journey of a very dear friend of mine. His name is David Matthew Brown. As a counselor, a grief bereavement specialist, and an inspirational and motivational speaker, he shows the value and investment that he puts in the health and well-being of others through contributing to others' lives through his time, his effort, his consideration, and his energy. You know, when I first met him 10 years ago, his daughter was 5 years old and showed an interest in playing soccer. Over the past decade, David went from being a supportive dad on the sideline to coaching his daughter's team. The knowledge that he has imparted to the school, which is the Larchmont Charter School Timberwolves, as they are called, has gone way beyond just learning the rules and technical side of the game. For he has invested in each girl, teaching them about seeing themselves as worthy, as deserving of respect, and working as a cohesive unit, all working for the betterment of all. Now, certainly not easy when one is dealing with teenage girls, but his composure and kindness that has seen him help the girls weather many storms, like tackling relationship breakups, crises of faith, and doubt in themselves, has been inspirational. And the life's lessons that they have shown will provide them with a strong foundation in whatever area they choose to pursue in their lives. A few days ago, his investment and belief in each one of these girls saw them become the 2022-2023 California Interscholastic Federation champions in their division. The elation and joy was made even more special as they won in downpouring rain in some of the coldest daytime temperatures ever recorded in Los Angeles. Now, winning the competition was an unbelievable achievement, but what happened a few days later showed the results of what happens when we invest in others with great love. David received this email. Hi, Coach. My daughter is in the first grade at Larchmont and wanted to say congratulations on a wonderful season. We would love to support the team any way we can, and I heard that there's another game this week. It would mean the world for me to have my daughter and myself come to the game, as she is wanting to play soccer for Larchmont when she gets older. Looking forward to the next game, and good luck. You know what, everyone? People will often forget what you say, and they'll often forget what you do, but they will never ever forget how you make them feel. And by taking the time, the energy, the effort, the love, and consideration to honor everyone, David Matthew Brown shows us the perfect example that the investment we make in others has a long-reaching and lasting effect. And in this case, with this daughter from a father of a first grader, it shows us that it goes from one generation to another. So 2 very good examples about an organization really not valuing and not investing in people, and another one of David Matthew Brown, who just shows that it goes from one generation to the next, and how much it really matters to invest and value people. So, and even before I went to pick the runes and the cards, the posse of angels just came in, and they were so giddy with excitement as they started to joyously toss words at me, growth, from they're saying like the second week in March onwards, growth, blossoming, blooming, flowering, songbirds returning, chirping up a storm, new journeys filled with limitless possibilities, new connections, new experiences, exploration, adventure, discovering more about ourselves like we've never done before. And with going into that Aries season, which again is about action and determination and our fiery will inside, with the equinox coming up, with several other planetary astrological signs changing in March, this all brings in this energy of renewal. And when I went to the runes, this one came out, which is Berkana, B for Berkana, the rune of growth. It represents a time of rebirth, of fertility, reflecting the bursting forth of spring. This is a rune of ripening and blossoming. And the posse of angels, well, they're showing me many in the collective during this Pisces season, as if we are fruit, getting ripe on the vine for these new connections and opportunities coming in with the start of Aries season. Berkana is concerned with the flow of bringing into new forms, bringing in new forms. For many, this could entail flipping one into an entirely different world. It's important that we surrender and keep letting go of any resistance. And we do this by releasing anyone and anything that no longer serves us. This is why the Posse of Angels and I, over the last couple of months, have been speaking on my Angel Healing House radio program about the radical severance that we were going through, and releasing and surrendering any relationships, jobs, anything that no longer served us. In fact, patience, modesty, fairness, and generosity are all things that will help us during this time of ripening. Once we disperse resistance of any kind to our new journeys, the results of the blossoming will be seen. B, not only for Berkana, but B for blossoming. So I love that rune came out. Next, I went to my a deck that I haven't gone to in a while, but the Posse of Angels said, take out the Salt and Sea Energy deck. It's such a lovely, beautiful deck. Okay, and then this card came out. The first card that came out was the card of Compass. and its message is divine guidance. So, this is why we must all let go of resistance to what we as human beings with our limited minds and egos must let go of, what we are attached to and what we expect. We must do this in order to co-create our greatest soul's journey with God Source, Creator, and our angels. At this point, don't try to control things. Don't try to figure things out. Let me see if I can get the reflection off of that. Don't try to figure things out. Don't push for anything to happen, but allow Spirit to be your compass, and they will point you in the right direction. Let your intuition be your guide, okay? Now is not the time to push. Now is the time to rest, surrender, release, relax, time of introspection before that changing of the guard on March 20th. But let Spirit be your compass. The next Salt and Sea card that came out was Crab. And this message is to consider the unconventional, maybe take a sideways approach. For it not only prompts us to let go to divine guidance, but encourages us to be open-minded and consider an alternative approach to achieving our goals. You know, this is not what the ego wants. This is not what perhaps we were attached to, but is opening up to our soul's greatest direction and path on the next part of our journey. So stay flexible, be open, because in these times, time of being clear to hear the words and messages from Spirit's directions through our intuition, the way that we co-create with the angels to fulfill our wishes may rarely go to plan as to what we think will happen. And we need to do this so that miracles can take place. And when I went to my other deck here, my L key cards, which translates as she who, this card came out. Maputla. And look at those words, new path, guide, and renewal. All of those words that the posse of angels were throwing at me: growth, ripening, blossoming, blooming, all of those things. She who guides, let's get that reflection off. Yes, she who guides, with its message of new path, guide, and renewal. The message is very clear that the new path is being prepared for us. This new path will provide many with the course correction that they have prayed for. With the songbird on her shoulder and the bells being present in this card, these soft and subtle sounds that get our attention are very important now. And the posse of angels wish for us to rest and go inward to receive those subtle, intuitive messages leading us to renewal. Remember, this is not a time of action. It's a time of letting go and being vigilant and listening and watching and being observant for those messages from Spirit. And there's more blossoming in her headdress. So this is just an amazing time of growth, and especially as we get more into March, seeing the physical, tangible manifestation of those fulfilled wishes of ours. And remember, they might come in a very different way than you expect, but open to receive in the way that is the best way for it to come in for our soul's journey. Let's go to the tarot cards and see what other messages we can come in with. Now, while I'm shuffling, and knock, 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 while I'm shuffling, the posse of angels are saying that if you have been experiencing physical symptoms, if you have been experiencing emotional ups and downs, these last 3 or 4 days have been massive, massive. There were solar flares, there were uploads, there were all kinds of things that caused people all kinds of discomfort, physically and or emotionally. So stay hydrated. The best thing is take time just to rest. Of course, feeling like, I'm not a doctor and I don't advise and consult, but, if you're feeling ill, go to the doctor. But, in many cases, it was because of these solar flares and that they were causing many physical symptoms. But for me, it seems to have passed, but we're all individuals, we're all different. So hydrate, take Epsom salt baths, maybe sage ourselves, spend as much time in nature as you possibly can. Nature is the greatest equalizer and balancer of our systems, and eat light. What other things can we do? Just take time to be quiet, rest, and do those things that are nurturing for you. Okay, 1, 2, 3. First card coming out for us is the Strength card. Look at the blossoming on that card, blooming and blossoming. The Strength card was always, and when I teach tarot to my students, I tell them and I share with them that the Strength card in traditional tarot was one of the breakthrough cards in the deck. Having the strength to not do anything or not forcing anything, having the strength to allow ourselves to blossom in our own time. That is enormous, especially in a world where we're told to do and go and produce and produce and produce. Now is the time to have the courage and the bravery to take a step back, to allow ourselves to ripen and bloom, release anything that no longer serves us. And they're showing me the Lammy. Be really gentle and kind with yourself. Beautiful card there. By the way, these are my Angel Healing House tarot cards, which hopefully will be ready sometime this year. I'm hoping in maybe May. Okay, next card that's coming out for us is the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is a 10 card, which is a 1 card, and Saturn. Saturn is closing out a cycle, and when Saturn closes out a cycle, it is an ending to those former karmic lessons. It brings in a whole new cycle for us of new lessons to be learned. But they're saying that there's because of our soul's journey that's fated and destined, what will be coming into us now. So we really have no need to worry and doubt what's coming in. We can just relax, knowing that it's karmically meant and destined to happen. Need to get out of our own way and know that the wheel is turning in our favor. It is bringing in a new karmic cycle there. And maybe that's what the breakthrough is, It's establishing that new cycle and that new wheel, zodiacal wheel turning for us. It's a very, very exciting time. Next card that's coming out for us, another 1. 10 becomes a 1. And then another 1, new beginnings. This is the Ace of Wands. This is the butterfly telling us about transformation occurring in our lives. Establishing a new path for us. Look at the blossoming and the blooming of those flowers on the hand of God's wand, showing us the blossoming that's going to happen in our lives. Many of us are going to be presented with new offers, new opportunities. Could be business offers, could be jobs, careers, new opportunities to move somewhere new. Move to a new castle. You never know. So the great thing about this is we have the strength to open to receive which was karmically and destined to be ours, and then the blossoming can occur. But none of this can occur if we're not open to receive. Next card that's coming out for us is the Ace of Cups. Whatever this is, and the wands are so often about our careers or opportunities or offers or things like this. Whatever this one is, it's going to be something that we are going to be absolutely loving. We waited a very long time for this. It couldn't come in unless we were clear and healed and brought all of those areas of our lives that still needed closure on, forgiveness, compassion, and unconditional love. And now that we've waited a very, very long time, is showing me the lotus flower. The lotus flower is one of the slowest flowers to open, and yes, it does grow in the mud. That is the challenges that we've been through to bring in the abundance, which is the fish, and it's then that the dove there is the Holy Spirit. It's divinely guided into our lives to this beautiful overflowing feeling of this new beginning that's going to be offered to so many of us. I say so many and not all because some people are not open to receive. When I work with clients, one of the greatest things that stops people from receiving is thinking that they're worthy and deserving and they measure up enough to be able to have a glorious life, because somewhere along the way they've been programmed to not think of themselves as worthy and deserving. And so they compromise and they settle for less. And then the universe, because the universe desires what we desire, sends us compromise. Then we wonder why. Next card that's coming out for us is the Fool. Oh my gosh, this is a new beginning. This is another path of new beginning, but this one is different because we're starting all over again. It's not just a new path; it's definitely starting over again, and we have another sign with the white dove there of Spirit intervening in our life to bring us what is destined to be ours. So they're pointing my attention to his satchel that he's carrying on his back, with all the spiritual wisdom that we have about taking responsibility, about forgiving, about non-judgment, about being grateful and appreciative, and unconditionally loving. These are the 5 important tenets of my business and have been for 20 years in my mission statement at Angel Healing House. By taking responsibility, by being forgiving, especially to ourselves, by not having any judgment, by being grateful and appreciative, and also unconditionally loving, we set the stage then to have everything we need, because abundance is our nature, to create a beautiful world, a heaven on earth for ourselves and others. And the dog there is, we just have to trust. We have to trust Spirit. Spirit knows us better than we know ourselves. So get out of our own way, open to receive the fulfillment and the desire, the fulfillment of your wishes and desires in the way that your soul wishes it to be presented to you. Another couple of cards talking about blossoming and blooming. This is the 7 of Pentacles, which so often is about, Spirit is telling you that you've planted the seeds very well. You followed the voice of God, Source Creator, of your angels, and now this is a time of rest. Look at that little fairy. She's put down her hoe, she's put down her watering can and her shovel, and she's watching the blossoming of and the ripening of those coins on the vine to manifest in the physical realm. So I love this story. Another 2 cards they're saying. Okay, Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is very much like the Fool card. It's full of enthusiasm and it's full of excitability, and its messages coming in about our new path. The birds are there. Remember, even before we pulled any runes or tarot cards, that the posse of angels were saying about the birds chirping up a storm saying, it's coming, it's coming. So all we need to do is don't force anything. Allow those messages to come in about those offers, opportunities, careers, jobs, all these things, establishing a new path. They're also saying it's establishing a new soul tribe for us to meet, support us, and encourage us along the way. Couple more. Four of Wands. This is the success card. It's also the marriage card, but it's also the home card. We've gotten there was the castle here, and this is many of us. If that's in our wheelhouse, if that's in our intentions, will be shown where to move to. But this card is success after lots of hard work. And that hard work was making it through the last 3 years, and also all the healing work that we've done. And also they're saying that the 4 is the number of stability, security, a stronger foundation in our lives to step onto a path. Long-term security, they're saying, and allow yourself to be led, because where your soul needs to go next is the fulfillment of your mission or your calling here on planet Earth. Last card is one of the greatest growth cards, I guess, in the tarot deck, which is the Empress. Look at that abundance of those beautiful persimmons, the abundance of wheat, which is the wealth, the rabbit, which is about creativity and fertility, and her pregnant stomach, which is, we're in the gestation, we're almost there, and of course the raven is bringing in the magic, and the deer tells us, do not push the river of life, and let this unfold in the most magical, miraculous, divine way for your soul to bring wonderful light to the planet. Wow, that's such an amazing reading. Thank you, Posse of Angels, for that. That wraps up the YouTube for today. I hope everyone has an extraordinary week. Do remember to call in or listen in to my Angel Healing House Blog Talk Radio show, which airs every week on Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And as I have done for the last 12 years, I take calls for free mini angel readings from all over the planet. So do call in, and hopefully you'll be able to get on the show. Go out, everyone, and fashion an absolutely beautiful life for yourself. And remember not to push. Remember to take the time out for rest and introspection now, because the time is coming when those physical manifestations will be happening the more we go into that next zodiacal cycle. I'm wishing you love, and as always, angel blessings. If you want to contact me about more information, or perhaps want to book one of my services, please go to my website, which is angelhealinghouse.com, and all of that information is in the description box down below. Take care, everyone. Have an absolutely beautiful week. Bye.